Well, what do you say when you're on the radio and you have nothing to say? Well, can we spend just a few minutes of getting a little clarity about that on What It Takes Radio? And yes, it does happen every once in a while. And there's usually a variety of reasons for that. Here you are, you have a radio shift, a radio program to do. The station is on the air, and dead air is the worst thing possible. You have to be on the air. It's your turn in your town, and the transmitter is on, and you're on. What do you do when you have nothing to say? Well, that happens occasionally. I'm Stan Houston, and again, you are listening to What It Takes Radio on Thursday. And we're putting this together late on a Wednesday, and that's part of the dilemma that I'm in right now. But perhaps you can relate to that. You've put in a long, long day, and Wednesday's been really long. I did 5 videos today, as well as getting a lot of other things done, and so I'm really tired. And of course, Rob is waiting for me to come into the studio and do 10 minutes of clarity. And he expects me to be there. And he expects me to do a good job. He expects me to put that radio program together. We have deadlines. We have things we have to do. Well, I've been involved in radio for many, many years, and that has happened to me on more than a few occasions. You got a program. You got to do it. You got to get on. Now, having nothing to say is rather rare for me and for anybody else in radio. And let me tell you why. This is why you need to be on the radio. This is why I tell everybody in business they need to get radio training. And I was telling my friend Frank this the other day, and I said, Frank, you're becoming a radio guy. And he said, hey, I've been a salesman since I was 18. I've never been on the radio except doing this little stuff for you now and enjoying it. And I said, well, let me tell you why you're a radio guy. First of all, he said, what if nobody's listening? And I said, I've been in radio for years, and every time I get on the radio, and that's been times when I was driving a 500,000 watt transmitter, putting millions of watts into the ether, going all around the world from 7 powerful 700-foot towers. And sometimes, late at night, on the night call program, I said, you know what? I bet they're all in bed. Nobody's listening. And that happens. Well, if you're in radio, you always have the anxiety that nobody might be listening. Well, that's usually not true, but it might be. Who knows? But the reason it's also rare is when you become a radio person, you begin to always look for things that could be on the radio. As I was telling people, I am really good at Trivial Pursuit because when you're on the radio, you are always looking for a joke, a bumper sticker. You're always looking for something that you could talk about that you hope would be interesting. Always. Carrying my notebook. I then had a little dictation recorder. Of course, now the smartphone is wonderful. Whenever I come across something, I just talk into my phone, and sometimes I just interview people. I'm always there with the proverbial, as Rush Limbaugh calls it, the stack of stuff. You have that. And that's one of the reasons I want you to be on the radio, to think like a radio person, because in today's world of content marketing, and we're going to be talking about that later, if you don't like marketing, okay, and most people don't, try teaching. Because in the world that's going to come to us, and it's here right now, the best kind of marketing is teaching. Please let that sit on your head for a while. And so not only are you looking for all kinds of interesting things that you could talk about and perhaps have a conversation about, read about and then talk about, but you're also on the air. You're almost always looking for those situations where you can have something that might be useful to say that people would find interesting. And what's going to happen is that's going to be something that'll be a real benefit to you. Not only in your radio program, in your marketing, in your teaching, it will be just the mark of the person with insight, wisdom, truth, wit, with a smile, and they are fun and good to do. Well, here's the deal. You are always looking for things to say, and you're always on the lookout for things that you can share. But sometimes, you know what? It just doesn't happen. You're tired like I am today, and as a result of that, you oftentimes say, there's just nothing that I can really say with any enthusiasm and energy and interest. And that does happen. You just don't feel like it. I can remember sometimes after a long, long, hard day, a difficult day, and I had to do a nighttime program that would go on at 10 o'clock at night and then go till 1 o'clock in the morning. And there were times where I would just simply say to the audience, hey, I've got nothing to say tonight. I think I'm going to talk to myself and play some music I like, and you're welcome to listen in. And I did that. Just kind of reflected on life and thought and some of the things that were going through my head. Mostly played music I liked and talked about it and told people why I liked the music and why I played that. And that was the program. It was interesting that sometimes when I just kind of bared my tired, bone-tired humanity and my vulnerability and the fact that I wasn't smart enough to come up with anything to say, that those were some of the best programs I had. Again, just something to think about. But at the end of this day, may I just simply say this, because I want to do a little self-promotion. Now, most of you on the radio can't see me, but if you could see me on many of the videos I do, or on www.stanhouston.com, or you go to whatittakesradio.com, or stanthespokesman.com, you will find that obviously I'm not a young, pretty face. I'm a mature person, and I have a shaved head. I'm bald, and I'm not young, and pretty ordinary. But here's the interesting thing. Part of the work I've been doing recently is just simply enjoying, because I like to do it, I've been doing spokesman videos for companies. I just, set up a little website, web stage like stanthespokesman.com. And because I'm good at radio and TV, I've been doing commercials and video commercials for people, particularly entrepreneurs and businesses all around the world who know that they need somebody on their website who can tell their story, kind of bring a little life, a little introduction, some not just dead text and boring pictures to the web stage. And that business has been growing by leaps and bounds. People are asking me to tell their story, to sell their stuff, and perhaps show people how it will work for them. And I'm pretty good at sales, and I'm pretty good at marketing, so I just simply want to share with you the fact that I'm doing more and more of that, and I'd love to do it for you. Look at your website. Kind of boring. Wouldn't it be great if it had a great storytelling video to start it off? Well, that's a lot of what your business is going to have in the near future, and it's a lot of what we're doing right now. So, I can't think of anything really to talk about except the fact that I did blurp on for a while and tell you a little bit about my humanity and share this with you. Your website, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, all of those things that display you and your business, you need people. And you need to become a person and find a person like me who can be your storyteller, your teacher, your performer, the person who can be not the pretty face, but the person with, hopefully, some wisdom, insight, and truth, some integrity, energy, and personality to tell your story. I'd like to kind of raise my hand and say, I'd be glad to do that for you. Why don't you contact me? Stan at stanhouston.com, Stan at stanhouston.com. And right now Rob is looking at me and saying, hey, you pulled it off. You got the program done. You just kept bloviating and talking, and you got it done. Good for you. Nothing great, nothing significant, just a little bit of my story and what you do and you can't think of anything to say on the radio, and perhaps just a little shameless self-promotion that I would love the opportunity to tell your story, to help your business go and grow. All the best and blessings, and I always say that, and I always mean it profoundly. You are, in my thoughts, in my prayers, in my concern, I always, now that's where I am a real radio guy, I always think and have a picture of you and a mental image of you, and in many cases, deep affection for you, my dear listener. All the best and blessings. Take care. I'm Stan Houston for What It Takes Radio, and bye for now.